I tried to give you a big fat chunk, and you just smelled it and walked the fuck away.
That was the nose. You gave the cat the booger part. Cats aren't dumb. They know what don't live in assholes. Oh, okay.
Yay.
Fancy.
But the Peanut Corporation of America, 2009, there was a salmonella outbreak. It was traced back to them. They found leaky roofs and all that, doctored paperwork. Anyway, he was given 28 years. The boss of that company, for the deaths of several people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he left a while ago. Yeah. Oh, and Paranor, if that happened in China, they would have executed him. Remember the guys in the milk scandal in China?
True. Yeah.
A few of them got the death sentence. But yeah.
Well, I was in Robbins a little while ago, and she said that her invitations were screwed up too. So. Yeah. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 200A. Well, you've all heard about it. Yay. Yes. Scott Walker's out too, eh? He's out of the governor of Wisconsin. He's out of the presidential race. He was the Koch brother favorite, supposedly. Oh, he's still got another over a year, for crying out loud. Ooh. I'm not seeing any invite on. Yeah, I've got I see the watch share, but nope. Yeah, not even in my notifications. Ah, well. There you go.
Not just everyone, but every fucking one.
Yeah. How you doing, Gav? Have you got the sand out of all the nook and crannies yet?
Yeah. I still use it as an excuse for my moody disposition, though. Kind of like how
Okay, that one I got. That one I got.
It's kind of like how my wife asked me to stop using the word cunt, so I just say Kim Davis all the time.
Oh, that bitch. You heard what she's doing now, eh?
I don't even want to know, really. Well, I mean, I can assume it's bad. That's a given.
She's doctoring forms. Mm-hmm. No, apparently I'll pull a link. Apparently she is editing them, taking her name totally off it, and just having the clerk's name on, and then changing something else as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this woman want to go to jail for real? Like more than what they've already done to her?
She's a pawn.
Yeah, I mean, they should really stop playing nice and just be like automatic, okay, fine, we're throwing you in jail this time for a minimum of 5 years. Still think this shit's funny?
Yeah.
That's a video link. We don't want that.
No, she's doctoring forms for Jesus.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, where's that verse when Jesus said, thou shalt commit forgery in my name?
Here's the link for it.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, it says, when she returned to work last week, she confiscated all the original marriage forms and provided replacements with numerous changes, according to a court filing by one of the deputies, Brian Mason. Among other things, she deleted all mentions of Rowan County, added documents were issued pursuant to federal court order, and replaced her deputy clerk's official title with notary public.
Okay.
Yeah.
What they ought to do is just like, okay, I get like she was the elected official and they can't just like walk in and fire her, but they really need to, yeah, I know, but like they really need to just throw her ass in jail and then just clean out that entire office and then put all new people in there that are not stupid assholes.
Well, that one clerk apparently isn't, and he's got his own lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, the whole spiel about her is she was elected in because the former clerk was retiring. Just happened to be her mother. The legislator doesn't go in until January. I heard earlier they may only work for 60 days in Wisconsin. That's about it. And the governor said he will not call an emergency session because it will cost too much.
Well, I mean, the more she fucks shit around, it's going to cost a lot too. So this is, I mean, from a cost-benefit perspective, sooner or later the scales are going to tip here.
Oh, I suspect the governor will be pushed into it, or at least one would hope. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I remember when they first handed down the Supreme Court ruling in June, and they ran a story, I think it was also in Kentucky, in a different county, where a bunch of people who worked in a county clerk of court's office decided that they couldn't, hand out gay marriage certificates, so they all resigned. Now, obviously, I disagree with them, politically and everything, but you know what? I respect them a hell of a lot more for being honest enough to resign than play all these fucking games with other people and break the law and this whole just a huge mess. I respect them a hell of a lot more. Hell, at this point, I would buy them drinks.
Agreed. Yeah, they actually will stand to their principles, not interfere. Right. They object. They left. Cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if you're offended by nudity, don't work in a strip club. I mean, like, it's really, you know.
There's Nevada out for you. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Not many people celebrate Zeus anymore.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe I'm going to save that for when I go to a Nadia hangout again. Get one of the Christians in there and ask them if they believe like in Odin or Zeus. And when they say no, I'll say, you're an atheist. I know. No, I'll save it for Mac because he's probably never heard it before. Yeah, the new guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think Google pulls a lot of what I call census bureaus. I used to work for the U.S. Census Bureau, and that was just the most inefficient, incompetent, clogged, taxpayer-funded machine you could possibly. I mean, like, they gave us like these little PDAs so we could mark where on the map certain addresses were, and we could document who lived there and stuff. And mine broke, and I had to call the stupid little 1-800 number and talk to some guy in the bowels of an office building in Washington, D.C., and have him explain to me that he couldn't really fix it because, quote unquote, the guy that fixes those retired. And my thoughts were, really, this is the world's last remaining superpower, and we have one fucking guy that fixes these things, and we just replaced him before we fired him? That's fucking helpful.
Well, not really. Yeah.
Oh, there's such a thing. I mean,
There's a lot of them.
again,
Timothy McVeigh.
Oath keepers. Yeah. Oh, but they're good Christian soldiers. Yeah.
well, that entire group in Uganda that's led by Joseph Kony is a Christian terrorist group. It's called the Lord's Liberation Army.
I think he lost the
No.
election. Yeah. Oh yeah. Coney 2014.
One Coney 2014. Yeah.
That's why I thought it was an election. Why are they voting for this guy? There's not an election this year. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they're saying about Trump. Like Trump 2016, because sometimes things have to get way worse before they start to get better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd like to see the U.S. electorate just skip worse and go straight to better for once. But there's absolutely nothing in U.S. election history of the last 100 years that makes me think that's going to start happening. So.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
Oh, geez, nuts. And then there are a couple others, I think.
that it's funny and it's also horrifying. But I mean, this is evolution and leadership. In about 10 to 12 years, the American people are going to start voting in plants.
Now hold on, heathens. You know who everybody should vote for? The kid that made the clock.
Media is the way they've been. Sorry. Yeah. Well, it ruined the fourth estate, or fifth estate. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
called
what integrity is. Yeah.
Well, journalism being a 24-hour cycle where they just try and run as much bullshit in front of your eyes as possible in as short a time a span as possible, all it did is give everyone mass ADD, basically.
It also doesn't help with the difficulty of figuring out what's really going on, because you're constantly being bombarded with the story that is constantly changing. Then you get the conspiracy theory nutter butters who show up with it later, and they've taken all the news feed, sifted it around, and now none of it lines up and makes sense.
Oh yeah. Yep. I remember. Yep. Yep. taken the authority out of journalism. It's just they read it off the palm of their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that's a gotcha question, as Palin would say. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Rick Perry with his three things that he changed.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they asked Sarah Palin, it's like, what kind of books do you read? And she was like, is that a trick question? It's like, not if you read, no. Like,
I bet she reads the label of a gin bottle. Okay.
You're muted, Okie.
Well, Jesus,
There we
donkey,
go.
testicle, Christ. Hello, gentlemen. How are you all? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I just got done talking to Brojo, and we were talking about him putting dogs in his mouth, and then other people came in and ruined the conversation, so now I'm here. I work a lot. I'm good, man. Yeah, I've been playing Ark Survival Evolved and working a buttload. And now I'm just starting to get bored of Ark, so I'm starting to pop around here a little bit. Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, I still play Ark because it's still fun just sitting on the back of a Tyrannosaurus Rex and eating people. Like, I mean, that's just fucking gravy. Sitting in the new spawn areas on a Spinosaurus, just being like, do 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 do, and you're eating. Yep.
Especially
At the
lawyers.
very least, flying on Argentavis and picking them up in your talons and flying them out in the middle of the ocean and dropping them to the Megalodon sharks. Because that's fucking priceless.
I would like to ask Ken Hovind a question, though.
Dr. Nina?
If the world is
Do
6,000
you
years
do anal,
old,
Mr. Hovind? Go ahead.
he probably did in jail, but let's not go there. But anyways, if the world is 6,000 years old, like you're claiming, and we walked around the Earth with dinosaurs, like you're claiming, then where are the dinosaur saddles? Of all the artifacts,
Well, you see leather.
why do we never have a dinosaur saddle?
Or at the very least, no pants.
Yeah, but you still want a saddle.
Oh. And I mean, at the same time, too,
dinosaurs.
those are just comfortable on the balls. But at the same time, too, if we walked with dinosaurs, we had shit like Doedicurus and Gigantopithecus, the giant gorilla. And I mean, if you've ever ridden around on a giant gorilla's shoulders, you don't want anything between your balls and the back of its neck. Plain and simple. Your balls in the back of its neck, ultimate riding thing. Yeah.
Oh, by the
Jesus.
way, on a side note about Mr. Ken Hovind, apparently he disagrees with flat earthers. Now, you might have to go back to see what he said, but I do believe he describes the image of the earth right out of the Bible on columns of the foundation, you know, with the dome. It's flat earth. So he contradicts his own scripture.
Aluminium. I don't know. Aluminium. Oh, they say it's so sexy though. They say aluminium, and I'm just like, I would fuck you.
Yeah, they also say vitamin.
That's a little bit weird.
Oh, Patrick comes to mind with that, but anyway.
I've
heard it, I
but
just
can't
can't remember.
place it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Oh.
Shit. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
What, you didn't like the chocolate ball one? Oh.
No, the chocolate ball one is over and done. The chocolate ball one is now just a cliche. It's been overplayed.
Well, I like the SNL version of it where it's balls of crack and they get, like, just fucked.
Just chocolate salty balls. By the way, Carol Burnett, they finally got the license agreement for the first 5 seasons, so all of those are now going to be released on DVD.
Yeah.
It's fine on my end, but I speak Canadian, so, you know.
Yeah. Carol Burnett. Yeah. The first 5 seasons are finally being released on DVD. They finally got the licenses all straightened away. I've been watching a bit of Stephen Colbert, and she was on talking about it.
I would hook up a TV just to watch Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, but I don't want to hook up a TV. Yeah.
Yeah, from The Daily Show.
But syndicated.
He's one of the exec producers of Late Night with Stephen Colbert.
John Oliver is the shit.
He is good.
Trevor.
Yeah, I love his web show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that John Oliver is the only news or whenever he does those whatever pieces he does online. That is literally worth it. So good. What was his church thing called, or the gives me money
Perpetual something
church
perpetual.
something of exemption.
Right. And they started giving semen in bottles. Semen, bottled semen, because that's the seed
Doesn't mean
that
Navy
they were sent.
officers.
Yeah, but people sent because sperm is a seed. They were sending them.
Well, what are you
People
gonna
actually
do?
did. Yeah. The last, not this past Sunday, but Sunday before, they shut it down because they just couldn't handle the influx of mail, especially semen.
Yeah, the Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption website, it says it's closed now.
Yeah.
What was the website asking for? Okay.
Yeah, there it is right there. Yeah.
Okay.
It was about a piece about evangel or not evangel. What do you call those? Evangel. Ugh, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, but it does
Right.
include your dad's receipts. Right?
Yeah, so he told them to send them their seed. So he told them to give. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But people actually sent
Here's the
seeds.
jar of cum and $5.
Hey, Effie.
And
Well, that-
But the thing is, what was it? They actually sent them big bags of seeds.
Hey, Jordy, long time no see.
Hello.
ooh,
What about Gynosaur? That's like a vagina dinosaur.
Oh, that's ironic. You're playing Ark.
vagina
A
sore.
Gynosaur, though, like, come on, man. The Vaginodon hunts the coasts. The smell of rotting fish emanating from its face camouflages it from the rest of the environment.
No wonder it looks like.
Right! Look at that Gynosaur! Sorry.
Crikey.
Ooh.
Hmm.
What, like little insect yeast or like fucking powder egg? Anybody want to spank my monkey? It's right here. You guys can spank the monkey.
Was your monkey bad?
What? They can't see the monkeys?
No,
Yeah,
I can see it.
Oh,
I can see
I've
it.
got
look at that monkey. Tell me that monkey doesn't need spanking, everybody.
I can see the monkey.
Yes, but the monkey isn't being broadcast, Jordy. Cameras are off.
No, yeah, I figured that. I was just being facetious.
Yeah, I know.
so the monkey is alive.
Uh-huh. But in the hangout. Probably.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that to so many people.
Frog in a blender still exists. Joe Cartoon.
Nice.
man.
Screw the hypno
Monkeys
joke.
are
Leave
the
us in
addicting
good
games
stuff.
right now.
Stop it. Stop it. Really starting to piss me off. Oh, that fucking frog used to. You just loved when you hit fucking number 10. You'd go through them and he's a little fucking douchebag. And you're like. Done. Oh, good times. Where am I, Dodickerai, in the fucking water? Get out of the water, Dodickerai! They're fucking armadillos with morning stars on their fucking tails, man. I
Oh.
want one as a cat.
Guess what? TM.
No. This is another variation. This is a mammal, whereas Ankylosaurus was a reptile. Oh, and I have a Brontosaurus egg over there.
It's amazing
I have
how
an
novel some of these
Ankylosaurus here.
Flash things were. The Spank the Monkey is pretty novel compared to what like Newgrounds does now.
If you look at the hangout, that's an Ankylosaurus.
Oh. Does Joe Cartoon still do things? Is the real question.
And fall and hurt their bums. Yeah, but where's the ass part come from?
Holy shit, he does do
Fall and
shit.
hurt their ass.
Hey 13, guess what the most popular video on Joe Cartoon is? Joe Cartoon, the guy who made the Frog in the Blender. Frog in the Blender.
Nice. It's because of people's childhood, like straight up. Oh yeah, I got a new computer. Yeah.
Mm.
I was banging a Mormon chick for a while, and yeah, she decided to bring the Mormonism into it, and it didn't last. Drop it.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I showed you my monkey, and that is Mesopithecus, and it is kind of monkey-like. So, I mean, you know. If they're in the hang of it, they can.
Oh, I got my bandwidth turned down, so I don't even see the videos.
Ah. I just upgraded to an insanely amazing computer, and it's retarded now. I just upgraded part by part by part, and then just threw the $300 down on a sweet motherboard and processor. And then they sent me the wrong motherboard and processor and sent me a better version of them. Yeah.
It actually.
Ordered a 3.5 gigahertz 6-core AMD FX, and fucking a 4.5 8-core shows up. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to mention anything. It was less than 5 minutes to install Windows and my 64 gigs worth of backup information. And I was on the desktop. No bullshit. Oh, yeah, definitely. I upgraded everything part by part. What? Birds fly. Oh, for sure. I was thinking about going M2, but not for the fucking price they are. The presidency? Ah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Wait, it happened in February? Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was a lot more recent than that. So I got you. Okay.
but like, what the fuck could you do to warrant a ban? Yeah. How's that your fault? Hmm? With no opportunity to dispute.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah,
big time.
I was surprised they weren't more sympathetic or accommodating with your. Uh,
Hmm.
Well, like the Babel Reloaded people, they just got done dealing with fucking Ray Comfort's people because they false flagged one of their YouTube videos saying that they used copyrighted material, and they literally used screen clips and just talked about the movie and played no audio.
Yeah.
So like they had to deal with Ray Comfort's organization about that bullshit and false flags, and now they're hoping that he does it again so that way they can fucking sue him.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit. If you're making money on this and you had something like that, you could have went after them for monetary gain. So, like most of them. Wasn't Kevin Sorbo saying that God's not dead? I've seen Jack Chick's tiny shoes. Everything looks better compared to that. I don't think I've actually seen them.
mhm.
Kirk Cameron is super religious.
It's hard.
Mhm. That seems to be a pretty common denominator with Christian movies. They think that the message alone will carry the movie into or it'll make the movie better rather than focus on producing it, the dialogue, and all that stuff. They think if they just have the right message, it'll succeed and people will enjoy it.
Yeah. Slaves to be slaves. Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Potter's fucking awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Those books are fucking great. Sit down and read them in one fucking sitting.
Yeah,
man.
that series is so old now that you can't even say it was written for kids because like the people who started reading it when it came out are now
Yeah, the first
full-grown
one.
adults.
The first few were. The last one I would not say was written for kids. No.
Well,
When did they come out? I think I was in like 4th grade when the first one came out. Yeah.
First one was published in 97. The last one in 2007.
Yeah. I wish comic book movies would take notice of that. That's probably my biggest complaint about those is they seem like they were written by 8-year-olds and how simplistic and like transparent the whole the setup
I've never, even when I was a kid, been into comic books, and I still don't understand why people like Lenny.
Well, I'm not going to criticize comic books, but comic book movies are. Yeah, I guess I was lumping in graphic novels with comic books there when I said that. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were done by Shalimar.
Shama lama 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 ding dong.
Oh, yeah. The Attack on Titan sucks. And, yeah.
Okay. Well, heathens, I'd like to stay, but I'm falling asleep here.
Headless always falls to sleep so early when after I moved to California.
Kevin.
Damn it.
No, I've been getting up early.
Yeah, and I moved 2 hours west.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Jackie actually had an interview today for a part-time retail job, but it might get us out of here.
How close you guys to Canada now?
We're in the Los Angeles area. Sorry, a bit far.
Los Angeles? I got you a pizza job. Still waiting for fucking Para there to be like, hey man, pizza job.
I've done pizza job before. No, thank you.
Oh, work from home pizza job, I bet.
All right. Night, guys.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Get going or getting you.
All those gay divorces aren't improving the Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking right.
And lucky that they were there to say yes too. So. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
Fucking
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm naked.
And now we have 2 viewers. No. Or
You're
10
welcome.
viewers. Who knows?
He probably went against Gal.
Yeah, I was about to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Whatever it was your clock. Satanic Panic, Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, Wolf. He lost his mic. Yay for stuff.
No.
Have you been still looking a little bit, have you?
That's cool.
You gonna stay in Texas? My condolences. That makes sense.
Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Natural.
Yuppie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the accountant is an interesting and exciting person, I could understand, but if he's not, then that.
Ooh, Jewish too.
Yes, trying to say
Oh,
your
again,
stereotypical
well,
We
accountant.
can go back to my house and have a brisk. I meant brisket.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's just a matter of like whose wishes are given priority. I mean, quality of life just means, you know, you'd want whoever's sick to have the best remaining time, whereas quantity is probably the person wanting to spend time with that person for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hear you, and 100% on that. I agree.
Yeah, it's California.
Canada actually legalized euthanasia. They're still writing the laws on it, but the Supreme Court finally said yes. Cool.
So how do they make the determination? Or I mean, in theory, since it's not legal anywhere, how would you make the determination that somebody should be allowed to?
Sweden has some good. They were pretty well the first, weren't they?
I don't know much about it.
Neither do I, but they had a whole. There's like 3 doctors have to sign off on it, and it can only be for certain diseases, and you have to prove quality of life and all of this. But they've got it down to a precise thing, pretty much, I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of room for ambiguity, I would think.
Well, it's not. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad thing about that is the most effective treatment for it is illegal. Psilocybin kills those things dead. Yeah. Not even in hallucinogenic doses, sub-hallucinogenic doses. Eat
I've
mushrooms.
heard that. Back in.
Well, it hits a whole bunch, activates a whole bunch of serotonin receptors, so obviously one of them is involved with it. Yeah, I know. They say cluster headaches are supposed to be like the most intense pain that, you know, someone could experience.
So how would they treat that with regard to like mental illnesses? Because I think
There
would
have
view
been people who were granted assisted suicide for severe depression. It's happened.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because a lot of people would kind of object to whether or not you could even assess, because obviously a depressed person isn't going to want to live, but people would argue that if you were to cure them of their depression, they would want to live again. So how do you make the determination? Yeah.
Well, the same quality of life tests, the same quality of life tests that work for cancer work for depression too.
Yeah.
And
no,
the thing is, there is no cure for depression. We don't know how to cure it. That doesn't mean it hasn't been cured with some people with medication or psychotherapy or whatever. We just don't know how to do it effectively.
Yeah, I should have said like recovered from it rather than cured it, because I mean, plenty of people who have undergone very, very serious depressions and come out on the other side and been glad that they. So people would use that as an argument against any kind of like assisted suicide for depression, I would think.
There's depression.
Well, right. They would.
Yeah. Well, speaking from somebody who's been chronically depressed since I was 10 at least, it is a viable option at times, depending on your situation. But I would say, yeah, it can be fucking hell.
Well, then. Well, that's.
Or they don't have it available either. Like in my situation, I'm on a waiting list. Been on for 8 months now, and it was a year waiting list, and I was marked urgent. But she's the last person I can see in my economic situation. I can't afford one on my own, and she's the last one I can see. And the last one that I saw started off with forced or demanding that I agree that everything is choice, and then when I just agreed, accused me of having a philosophical discussion. It's like, well, you brought it up, bitch. So it's also availability of help as well. So,
I think part of the key of assisted suicide for depression in the cases that have happened is it has to be treatment resistant, obviously. Like,
yeah,
every other option has been exhausted. Fuck this, I don't want to live anymore, nothing works.
There are some extreme options too. I mean, like the electric pacemaker for depression that you put in the brain.
Mm-hmm. There's also been some amazing promise with ketamine and related dissociatives interrupting depressive episodes. Now, it's not a cure, but like it basically works how people think antidepressants work. It works immediately, and you stop feeling like shit for days to weeks.
Yeah.
And I just realized that I had myself muted on the stream on my end. Whoops. Have been the entire fucking time.
Oh no.
That
Really?
sucks.
They missed all those funny jokes in that part where he talked about that time with the midget.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, shush.
Oh yeah, the midget story. Damn it, they missed that one too. Yeah.
You can't get that watermelon in the same place anymore with that joke. No, it just won't work anymore.
Well, yeah, but you know, the watermelon with it covered in Velcro is really the point of it.
Yeah.
I mean, without covering
Did
it.
really complete the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a big watermelon. You load the, you sit there and you get the Velcro all on it, load the midget into it, and then fire it with a catapult at a wall with the other side of Velcro. Yeah.
Oh, is that your midget potato cannon?
Yeah, yeah.
Lenny!
Sorry, stream, you missed. You described how to build one of
Wait a
those.
minute. How did you know it was Lenny?
It was nutty.
How did you know it was Lenny that I put in the watermelon? Damn it.
You started off the story by saying, "Hey, this one time, you know Lenny the midget."
Oh, don't let him
come on,
say
man.
that.
It was a bed cam?
Well, it's because
That's offensive to Irish people.
well, I told him to give me the gold, you little bugger, and he didn't give me the gold, so I had to sit there and launch him with a cannon. Or something like
man,
that.
that was some funny shit.
Oh, so I think I know what's really underneath the end of the rainbow. It's Lennitar and a mankini.
Well, it was green, wasn't
I
it?
didn't understand
Oh,
those
yeah.
words. What was that?
Oh, you don't want to understand those words, just leave it be.
Do I need
Yeah,
to
thank
pick up the video? I still have it in my
No,
face.
it's alright, bro.
Oh, please don't. It's just horrifying. Yeah, apparently Rick just isn't watching. He's the one that would have told me that I was fucking muted.
I don't think he cares enough.
And well, there's that.
I think we should replace him.
I don't know, I might end up deleting this one after the fact because, yeah, reasons. Fucking stupid shit.
At least keep the midget part.
I don't know. How far are we into this thing anyway? We are hour 14. Wow. So I was sitting there talking for roughly an hour without even realizing I had myself muted on my end. Fuck.
Nice.
I forgot to check. I muted right away.
Yeah, I usually do too, but I just glanced over and I'm like, oh, let's just double check the audio, mute my headset on the hardware side, and went to check it. I'm like, yeah, sure, I hear everyone in there, great. Then I glanced over and I'm like, except for the fact that I see my little mic with a line through it. Son of a bitch!
Well, it's been a while since we've done a live.
Well, yeah, well, that and last time I did this, I had everything piped through once through the main speaker instead of actually having to use the headset audio straight, so because it was that teal thing. Because apparently she made a video vaguely responding to me, and I'm going to have to make the proper video for that. I was going to do it last weekend, but I had the kids over, so that didn't work out the way I wanted.
Nope.
Prioritize.
Well, yeah. I was sitting around playing video games with my son. That's much more important.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How are they doing?
Oh, they're doing pretty good, I guess, all things considered. I mean, my son basically just ignores all of reality and then comes over here and sits around playing video games as an outlet and occasionally comes in to say hi and chill out and this and that, but he doesn't talk much about what's going on there, which tells me that it's not good. My daughter, on the other hand, is kind of at her last leg in a lot of regards. She's just wanting to be out of there. She's not dealing with it well at all and doesn't want to get back into therapy because of the way her mom's going to respond to it. But at least her mom's letting her go to the big theater trip this year, so there's that at least.
Good,
So,
good.
I mean, it's not good, but it's been worse. Certainly been worse. I'm not, you know, maybe I will actually play that fucking audio one of these days in full. I really feel like one of these days I should just put the fucking thing up there with the caption of "This is what child abuse sounds like," and do it as an accusation against fucking Texas. Apparently, as long as there isn't enduring injury to the child, physically, you know, like broken bones and shit, it doesn't count as abuse.
Oh.
Oh, I think the U.S.
What
government has
fucking
the same
century are we
definition.
in?
I think the U.S. government has the same definition for torture, ironically.
Yeah.
Okay, I just learned something new in Minecraft.
If it doesn't
You can-
require hospitalization, it doesn't count.
You can feed a mule or a horse an entire hay bale at a time.
And does it like shit out just a solid fucking plug, or like?
I'm not seeing any strength decline. But
Random relevance. What the fuck? How did we get to that?
because I just did it and learned it.
I thought maybe he's seen a Brontosaurus and he's like, man, those things can really poop.
But they can, yeah. I've watched some play or some video of live play.
You watched a
There's a
video
lot
of a dinosaur shitting? What the fuck are you talking about, Para?
No, well, yes and no, it was in it, but you know, Oki can tell you more about it because there's a lot of pooping going on in that game. Even your own.
Oh, okay. I'm completely fucking lost now. What?
You're not watching your own Hangout, so you're not seeing me play a dinosaur game.
Well, I can't watch what's going on in here, no, because I have to have bandwidth off because Google is a cunt. Let me repeat. Google is a cunt.
I'm sorry, every time I hear TJ talk, I keep thinking Prudence in the room because they sound kind of similar, but I apologize for that.
I've noticed. Yeah, he better hope that he never slights me anyway, because I can just change my avatar to a squid.
I really want to goad Prudent into a discussion on economics to see what he actually knows about it, because I'm tired of hearing all this right-wing, libertarian, free market nonsense.
Hang on. I know that Jade right now is pissed at him, and he's apparently been saying a lot of ignorant shit. Is that what he's been talking about?
No, that was in reference to that whole clusterfuck hangout that G-Man had where he said horrible shit to Jackie and Jade and Fiona. Prudent basically went to Jade and Fiona and was like, you went in there so you deserved everything that he said to you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's invite Prudent.
Oh, God. I need to open the bottle of wine I just bought if we're going to do that.
No, I have a feeling we'll have enough wine for all of us.
No. I want to invite him just so I can kick his ass the fuck out afterwards. Hi, Prudent kick.
Oops, wrong, Prudent. Sorry, man.
Make him the brunt of the joke for a while again. Yeah. Sorry, that fucking disgust. That whole thing.
Speaking of politics, I was just looking at the showing up in the first Democratic debate. I've not heard of most of them ever.
And then he said something like, "Well, I don't give a shit. Like if people think I'm being mean or what people think. That's just how I learn who's worth talking to or not. If they take my shit."
It's just like shit like that when he's scared.
It was in the stream chat for it was for the Maudi thing. That's right.
So somebody sitting there and making false accusations against someone just because, quote, well, I felt like people were picking on me. Mm-hmm. This somehow justifies Prudent being a little twat. Pronounced correctly per instruction of Angry Pumpkin, incidentally. It's not twat, it's twat.
Twat.
Yes.
Twat.
You have to say it like a duck.
Yep.
Twat.
If it's twats like a duck, it might be Prudent discourse.
Monsieur Banana Duck, you twat.
It's funny because I'm actually honestly really disappointed in him. Because, you know, how many hangouts has he been in that he's felt like he hasn't been being treated fairly? You'd think he'd have some empathy for others. Now the thing is, he kept coming back in here for, you know...
that's true. I mean, I
kept coming in here for it, and at that point kind of did get what he deserved. But at the same point, you never know what's going to happen, you know? And if he wasn't instigating... But the difference is the people in that hangout with G-Tard were not instigating.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with him on some level in that if you don't want to take G-Man's abuse, like, don't interact with him, but it was a Nadia hangout that he came into or was invited into or whatever and was starting shit.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's kind of the thing is, if you're in there starting shit, you're going to get what you fucking deserve. But at the same point, when you're randomly giving to shit to people that are trying to be peacemakers and trying to be decent with you, fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty good, Strawman. How are you doing, man? Now that I actually have my audio going. Man, I don't believe it. I had my fucking mic muted for the first hour of the hangout. I feel like a fucking tool. Happens though.
Lols.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of this whole fucking community. I really am. I have been for a long fucking time. And I feel bad saying this whole community, because, you know, there are a lot of good people out there. But at the same point, the antics that go on and watching the people that are the lowest common denominators get the majority of the hits, kind of frustrating sometimes. It honestly is. I mean, you know, Nadia Hangouts, they're massive fucking clusterfucks. And I ignore them, but it's like, you know, once in a while it's like, oh, well, you know, there's such and such hangout, and so said so-and-so, and 9 times out of 10, it's a Nadia frickin' hangout. And I understand that sometimes this is the only show in town, so to speak, which is part of why I'm planning on seeing if I can get Eternal Hangouts going with proper fucking moderation at some point in the future. Because I want there to be something other than just the fucking Nadia clusterfucks out there.
Half the time when I look in there, I recognize maybe her and 1 or 2 other people in there. Like, she's alienated so many people.
Yeah.
She finally blocked me. I'm restricted from following her. I think she finally blocked me. And I think I know what it was. I left a comment on that video Gus made about her, implying that Nadia should start an online class for e-begging and professional victimhood and teach the Tumblr snowflakes a thing or two. I don't think she likes that.
Well, you know, the e-begging thing I'm not going to make a big deal out of, for obvious reasons. I have the Patreon account. Now, granted, I only push it. At the same point, though, I don't try to manipulate people into contributing. If you want to, cool. And I usually only mention it. I usually only mention it at the very end of the month, which is close enough to that I don't feel that bad mentioning it now. But when you're sitting,
that's not e-begging.
But yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say having a Patreon.
Okay.
Is not really comparable to what she does.
I feel like it sometimes, and that's why in February when I get my windfall, round about February when I get my windfall, I'm probably going to kind of encourage the patrons to hold off for a few months and, you know, go support somebody else for a little while, if they'd like to, kind of thing. Because at that point, I won't need the additional. Right now, I do. But at that point, I won't necessarily need it. So I might, you know, go support somebody else for a few months or whatever. I might do. I don't know. I'm leaning that way right now, because if you don't need the extra help, why ask for it? And that's kind of my viewpoint of it. Right now, I do kind of need it. I mean, the patrons have been keeping me going for the time. Hell, I wouldn't have been able to afford my frickin' insulin this month if it wasn't for the Patreon help. I have to kind of admit that. This month has sucked. This whole year has sucked so far. But, you know, at the same point, though, I feel like I'm e-begging whenever I have to bring it up. Which, maybe I'm not, but it kind of feels that way at times. It's, you know, I have to admit, you know, my funding sucks. And there are things, whether it be for the channel or just to keep me fucking going, that, you know, it does help. And that's kind of a big deal, and I appreciate the hell out of it. I really do. But I see all these people out there, and it's like, support us on Patreon, and every time somebody like Nadia or one of these huge channels says it, there's a part of me that's like, oh, for fuck's sake, shut up. Because, you know, you reach a certain level, and I look at some of the people that are getting a lot of the support, and maybe it's partially seeing these other people that are, you know, the Drunken Peasants, for example, that's getting, what is it? It's like $3,000 a fucking month or something like that. And I think, for what? For being douchebags?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Hold on, it's actually $9,884 a month.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only had a third of it.
Holy
fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
For bullshit.
Are you really surprised at that, though? I mean, that's sort of like the rule of thumb for any form of entertainment nowadays. It's like the most basic, and I don't know.
Not surprised. It's still sticking.
Yeah.
The Bible Reloaded is making like $7,000 a month, and they're just reading. They're just in the fucking Old Testament still. Like, they're just reading the fucking Bible, making $7,000 a month.
Well, hang on though. I would argue that the Bible Reloaded has slightly better quality content and puts more work into it.
Big time.
I mean, frankly, and this is the thing that frustrates me with Nadia. Now, Drunken Peasants, at least, they seem to put some vague effort into it. I just think they're a bunch of fucking tools.
they're content creators. You can't
Yeah,
argue with
yeah.
that. Nadia is
Nadia
not.
just has fucking hangouts. Anyone can host a goddamn hangout.
Like, what are you getting out of supporting her other than seeing her with crocodile tears and bitching about her life?
Now,
That's
I mean,
pretty
the
much
thing
it.
is, I've been feeling really bad because I've been doing any of my regular quote-quote content, which, you know, I've been doing the Grey Line lately, I've been doing the Power of Woo lately, and I really feel like I need to get back to them because hosting things like Shuffle, I get a good number of people that like them, they watch them, they enjoy them, and I try to keep most of the stupid shit out of them. But at the same point, I don't feel like that's real content. It's just a fucking hangout, you know? It's the stuff that I spend 3, 4, 5 hours on that I feel like these are the things that I care about, you know?
Well, I mean, in some sense, it's still a service, though, that you
No, it
provide.
is. Yeah,
Because,
it is.
I mean, anybody can run a hangout, but, you know, yours are pretty well moderated.
They can't. I disagree, and that's where
Nadia's proof that not anyone can run one, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
can
no.
actually
I mean,
run.
okay, I should have said like anybody can start one. That's not the difficulty, but it's maintaining one that has any kind of respect amongst people and is
a good host.
reputation. Exactly.
Yeah, and I knew what you meant, TJ. I just wanted to bring up the point to make the difference, point to the difference. But yeah.
Yeah, but it just, wow. Some people shouldn't even fucking start them. Holy shit. Now, the other thing in terms of the Nadia Hangouts is, yes, she's running a Hangout. People are coming in and running rickshaw over everything. There's no real moderation or any of this other crap. But even more so than that, the thing that frustrates me about it is that Nadia herself, boring as shit. It's the people that come in there to make it a clusterfuck that make them at all interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just the person that's inviting people to the clusterfuck. And that's the thing that's like, okay, really? That and a lot of people that were contributing to her through Patreon. Strawman's correct. She doesn't actually offer any perks. Mine might not be the greatest thing in the world, but at least there's something. And nobody's actually really taken me up on much of them yet anyway, but it's there. Intro videos or whatever the hell, if somebody needs them, I have that as one of the options there. Pick your puppet. Now, granted, the puppets are probably going to show their own creative license in it because they're douchebags. The puppets are kind of all assholes in their own way. So give them a script and they're bound to not use it. Because I have my little personas to them and they are going to stick to their persona. But, I mean, it's kind of one of those things, though. I mean, she's alienated her own patrons. There have been a number of people that had been contributing, and she'll sit there with people that are active contributors. And what's her name? I can't think of her name. Annabelle was one of her patrons, and was contributing every month and had been for a couple months. And Annabelle was sitting there in a hangout in which Nadia was basically ragging on her patrons for not contributing or helping enough, or not really caring about her. And it's like, for fuck's sake, and she's doing this while she has patrons in the room. And Annabelle's like, wait a minute, I contribute to you every month. I'm one of your patrons. And she's like, yeah, but you still don't really care and still don't really help. And she's like, fuck you. What the hell?
Yeah, what was his name? Gus made, I don't remember how long it was, like a 5-minute long diatribe.
Yeah, he ripped her.
Nadia's antics.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good summary.
I mean, it's all this woe is me, everybody hates me, I'm going to eat some worms. It's like, what the fuck?
What, is she eating worms now instead of just fucking Cheerios all the time?
Well, there was one
That'd be fucking entertaining.
There was one point on Patreon that she was just shy of $300, and last time I checked, it had dropped significantly. So she keeps alienating.
212.
Yeah, down to 212 now. She was like 390 something at one
Wait,
point
is that
earlier in the year.
Her hangout? Is that
that's what she's getting on Patreon.
She gets
is it monthly?
$217 a month from 11 people.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I forgot that there was a monthly version of it.
Yeah, there's
it's like a per video basis.
I get the impression that she cycles through patrons a lot. She alienates them, got to go guilt some more people in and got to get new crop, and yeah. pickings haven't been so great lately, apparently.
Wouldn't that kind of make her the Brett Jean of trans community?
Okay, incidentally, since it's been brought up, the big award, so to speak, on the Patreon page is the hat thing. Now I have my old classic hat here, and I'm starting to get the stuff together, or at least was starting to, and now I'm financially fucked for another month or so. But I'm working on getting all the stuff together to start making the next one. And the next hat will be the first official Patreon award hat that I'm going to be putting together. Because that's the big one. Is I've offered to make 3 of the fucking things, and somebody was talking about potentially sometime September, October-ish. So I'm starting to get the shit together for hat number 1. In terms of the weird.
How long do they
thing.
take you to make?
Well, the main thing is finding the right parts to put together.
Mm-hmm.
And part of this is based upon, the kind of vibe I get from the person or whatever. And part of it is just on a whim and what's available and what have you. The one that I'm working on right now, I've got a coyote tail, I've got some mink tails, I've still got some crow feathers and peacock feathers left over for the hell of it from the last batch. As well as, ram horns. And I still have some snakeskin left, which may or may not be used as part of the hat band. I don't know. What I'm also thinking about doing, if I'm able to make the arrangements to do so, because I'd have to get more than one to make it economically viable. I'm considering getting. There are some places you can go that you can get gator hide with actual alligator teeth or crocodile teeth, more accurately. And I'm going to check to see if that's even viable as an option. I mean, the thing is, the Patreon level is $250 for that, and it cost me like $200 roughly to make the fucking hat anyway. Roughly, and I'm not sure exactly what the shipping cost is. So it's relatively it's not like it's an insane amount considering the time and effort that goes into them, as well as the getting all the stuff from Etsy together and all this shit. It takes me like a month to get all the shit together. And right now, when I'm doing it, when my funds are low, it takes more time. I still have to buy the fucking hat. The hat itself is a pain in the ass. Top hats aren't as cheap as I'd like them to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be the top hat because we have to do the voodoo thing. I was actually considering doing something a little bit different with one and doing one without doing the top hat thing, making something slightly lower profile. But I don't know. No, actually, I was thinking more like I don't know, almost like a Scully cap with the horns on either side. In reference to Hatgate.
That's why you were asking of Moose.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, kind of. I'm always on the lookout for random parts and stuff, and that's the thing. It's all real, treated animal parts and this kind of stuff. And, I'm not putting fakey crap on them. That'd be cheaper. But anyway.
I heard that you guys were talking about Nadia.
Oh, briefly, yes. Yes, we were talking about her, and her antics, we'll just say.
Did something happen?
No,
recently?
Over the past couple months, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're just talking about patterns that have technically, as far as I'm to understand, have been going on for years. And now she's getting paid for it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a little bit just amazed at how much of frickin' drunken peasants are getting and thinking, what the hell?
Yeah, that's really not a bad. I don't know. It's like a really clever business model for people who make videos. Because I was looking at Patreon just to see, who the, I guess the top producers, the biggest income per video. It was absurd.
Oh yeah.
How much money some of those people. Man,
No,
I've never even
hang
heard
on,
of them
hang on,
too.
wait,
That's the crazy
Not
part.
PewDiePie, actually. There's somebody that runs a gaming channel that gets, I think it's like $26,000 a month or something like that. Not PewDiePie. It's not PewDiePie.
Yeah.
PewDiePie's getting like $7 million a year though.
Oh.
Yeah, that's off his YouTube revenue. I
Yeah,
think.
that's YouTube revenue. That's not Patreon.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see how many people on Patreon made that much money that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like it's very possible for you to make a killing and still be relatively obscure on Patreon, which on YouTube it's a lot harder. It seems like.
Well, I mean, I actually have a really weird goal in terms of Patreon though, because I'm currently disabled. I have been for a number of years, and the stroke didn't fucking help with that, to say the least. But the thing is that like to be able to support myself. I'm on the government teat right now, and I don't want to be, and I'd like to be able to pull in enough eventually to not have to do that.
A13, if you're, in need of extra money, are you familiar with Mechanical Turk?
What?
Through Amazon?
Never heard of it.
Mechanical Turk, it's a basically a crowdsourced work platform where you do tasks for, generally small amounts of money, but it can add up. There's a lot of data entry stuff on there. There are also a lot of psychology surveys.
Data entry, think about it.
And they'll pay anywhere from like 15 cents to $2 or more. I make an average of like 40 or 50 bucks a week on it with minimal effort. Some people make quite a bit more.
My hand might object to data entry.
In Dragon
Yeah,
there's
a lot of
fast enough.
Can't just be Cortana in it?
Most of the money, like for most people, a lot of universities use it for social science research and market research, and some of those actually pay quite well, like for a 2 or 3 minute survey, 50 cents.
Cool.
And that can add up quite fast. I'll give you a few links in Skype.
Anyway. Most of it's probably not going to be viable for birds. Anyway, never mind. Never mind the complaining, I mean. But yeah, it's... half the time I can't fucking read right now because when I reference the cognitive damage, some of the nerves hit were 3, 4, and 6, which deal with eye contraction of the iris as well as the muscle movement of the eye and what have you. I need to get that squared away at some point, but it's not consistent right now, so I'm waiting till it stabilizes. Half the time I can't frickin' read, which sucks. Anyway. Let's not turn this into the whining about my lot in life show. Nadia does that well enough. This is just me being frustrated. Because frankly, it's a pain in the ass. I'm hoping that my vision stabilizes sometime before the end of the year so I can get glasses. That's about the extent of that. But nothing I can do about it in the meantime. Because you go and get glasses when your vision hasn't stabilized, and you're going to be getting another one in another week.
Yeah. That's a real bitch when you don't make that.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass, but I make do. No, actually something that I was thinking about doing for the hell of it, because when and if we get the new house, we're planning on building a studio, or I might even, if we end up staying in this one, I might do a conversion, and I'll just end up having to make a studio here. But what I'm half tempted to do is actually offer to lease it out to people that need a green room. So, I don't know. We'll see. Because, I want to make a fully functional green room.
You could always look at making it into a YouTube space for people that can't afford the actual YouTube space.
Yeah, pretty well. For people that want to be able to do a full green screen production and this and that. Yeah, whatever. And the funny thing is, I can see my wife doing it to set up, fantasy vacation pics or something like that for people when she's doing her photo thing, because she does photo shoots as a sideline.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
that makes things easier.
Hey, Kevin, could you do me a favor, and on the actual YouTube video side, can you put the link to that? Granted, you have to modify the link to get it to post, but because Strawman's interested.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
If you can try putting it in the chat. Now you have to modify the link, of course, to get it in there, because links are disabled, but you just have to put brackets around the dot, I think. Hello, Prudent. We were just referencing you.
Prudent Hawkins.
Oh, he's in the chat. I forgot about that.
Yes, we has chat.
Oh, did he change his avatar?
Yeah, somebody sent him a nude picture.
Somebody sent him a nude picture? What?
No, a new picture.
Oh, I heard you wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I think Drew heard everybody wrong on the same thing, too. When did he send that picture of himself?
We're not talking about that. No.
Okay.
No, we're not talking about the pasty face thing.
Oh my.
What?
Oh, you missed it, Oki, but we're not talking about
Oh, don't worry. After I get the new setup and everything organized next year, I will most likely be redoing an Eternal Shuffle with all the new stuff. Because we're doing a lot of recording and pre-recording and what have you, and I've got another, I don't know, probably another day's worth right now. But once I have the new box set up, I'm probably going to do another constant broadcast thing once I get the old channel back.
That's right. That was in one of the old shuffles, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's also one thing that we were kind of talking about off air, is potentially approaching some other folks and having basically a channel that just is always running some kind of content, so there's always something to watch. Now, whether we can get some folks like Sokka and his thing or what have you to sign on to work with us with that or not, I don't know, but I haven't even approached them yet. It's just kind of something that's on the sidebar now, because it was kind of nice back when I was able to do the Eternal Shuffle. Because even though we didn't have like high view counts or anything like this, there was always something to watch, and that was kind of nice. Old content.
It was nice.
Old content.
Nice morning coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know that there's something going on or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, it's something that I certainly couldn't do just exclusively with my own content.
I'm painting a Brontosaurus.
Incidentally, around about February is when I should be able to start broadcasting from the old channel. Oh, and one other footnote on the hat. It's at the beginning of the month that Patreon pays out, and it's at that point that I'd start actually getting the stuff to put the hat together. So it'd probably be about 2 months for me in total from the time that the initial offers, or rather the request is put in, up until the point that I have the hat ready to be shipped. Because I have to wait for it to get the funds from Patreon before being able to do anything with it. Anyway. Side note.
Hats, important things.
Ooh, yes. What hats do you wear? Always the eternal question. What hats do you wear?
I wear the boop hat.
No.
There we go. That's what I was waiting to hear.
She's so predictable. Jackie, boop.
No. No.
You too cute.
No. Not. He's cute.
There we go.
Oh, don't start.
Thank you. I am cute.
Ah, God.
Yeah, Captain Osimo mentioned the diabetes thing, and I don't even think he's heard anyone else say it.
Diabetes?
Diabetes?
Which diabetes thing?
Oh, the how we give people diabetes.
Well, I personally blame you two for mine. Even if I was diagnosed a year or so earlier. You know, like a year or two before you met, that is.
Just speaking of Captain Osimo, and for anyone who doesn't know, Jackie and I just met him. Go watch the video on his channel. But that guy is even more fun in person. He just kind of like fills the room with energy.
Energy? Are we going woo here?
No, not that kind. Like, personality-wise.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, seriously, that guy's a fucking nerd. He has action figures and comic books and, like, miniatures all over his freaking apartment.
I don't know if that makes you a nerd anymore.
That's true. Different
I think
type
it's
of
still
nerd than...
We're not quite to that stage where we've progressed.
It's like it's a whole side of being a nerd, like I mentioned earlier with the comic books, that I just never got into at all. But seriously, his collection's probably worth 10 or 20,000 bucks.
Jesus.
Like, is it one of the like everything's unopened in its original packaging kind of collections, or is it
some of it is, some of it's out.
But I mean, that's the thing, is there are some of these things that you can say, oh, you're kind of, but at the same point, you know, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know?
No.
I mean, this can be a good thing. This can be something that later down the road, you know, your kid's going to inherit and sell off and make quite the profit on. A friend of mine, unfortunately, ended up having his ex-wife kind of swipe his magic box of comic books, but in that box, and this is why it kind of sucks, was Spider-Man #2. In mint condition.
It doesn't matter what condition that's in. You get a fucking grade 8 on that thing, you're fucking looking at $2,000, even if half the pages are falling out.
Yeah.
In mint condition, probably quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, it was worth, well, roughly $20,000 if I remember correctly. That's when he had it appraised at one point. He also had, what was it? I don't remember the arc. It was the Wolverine, the first two of the first.
Oh,
no.
Wolverine versus the Incredible Hulk.
No, the original Wolverine is back. The one.
He was introduced in those books, so you're probably talking about his origins then.
Yeah, this was the origin. It was, yeah. These were the initial origin ones, if I remember correctly. I don't know. All I ever saw was the covers, because you know you don't take them out of this out of the sleeve.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had two of the. There was apparently 3 books that were the origin of Wolverine or something like this, and he had 2 of the 3. But yeah, he had quite a number of collectible ones, and had it in this box that he prized, and the bitch took it.
Fuck bitches.
And sold it off for a lot less than it was worth, apparently.
More likely.
Yeah.
Not knowing what they have. Oh, it's only junk.
But his whole thing was he was, planning on his son inheriting it and, that going towards college fund, whatever, someday. So, yeah, sucks. And nowadays with, the rise of, comic book movies and whatnot, this would have been a great time for it.
The only reason why they would be worth anything, because look at it, but just before the comic book movies.
Yeah, it's trends, as social trends go, the amount of people collecting changes. So.
Yeah, I'll stick to collecting coins. The coin collection fits in a shoebox. heavy shoebox, but
everybody remember Pogs?
Like big enough shoes.
What is that? Hogs? What?
No, the Pogs, the bottle cap basically liner things. You play Tiddlywinks or whatever with them.
Yeah.
Oh, vaguely.
Those used to be big money once upon a time, and now they're fucking worthless.
Yeah. Nobody did, yeah. It's kind of like Beyblade, except paper.
Yeah. I remember Pogs used to get banned in schools and all this stuff because people thought it was bad influence.
Yeah, it's fun.
Kids sitting on the ground and not playing marbles is a bad influence. But then again, once upon a time, marbles was a bad influence.
Well, I mean, the thing is, whenever you're talking about something that was a bad influence in the 80s, you're kind of talking hardcore stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the thing is, you'll still get, like, the Pat Robinsons of this day and age when Avatar came out. Not Last Airbender, regular Avatar. There were a bunch of, I'll just say, this is evil, it's satanic. And, then Twilight came out. That was evil and satanic, which might be true. Twilight might be evil, but not necessarily satanic. But the thing is, this nowadays is something that most of us just kind of roll our eyes at and laugh when somebody's like, Pokemon is evil, it's of the devil. We're just like, yeah, whatever. But during the 80s, we had late 70s, early 80s. I think it might have even reached into the early 90s. We had the Satanic Panic.
Yeah.
Which, people really thought that, people really seem to think that there are all these satanic cults running around and murdering children and all this other stupid shit. And the media was out to get you. It was crazy. Oh, yeah, now we have, that Planned Parenthood thing. Holy shit. The fucking Planned Parenthood thing. Oh.
I mean, I have pretty low standards for GOP candidates, but I was still genuinely stunned at how much they distorted the details of that scandal in the debate.
They're trying to shut down the government.
Hang on, the thing that I get a kick out of is that the one woman whose name escapes me.
Yeah, Carly Fiorina.
Carly Fiorina, yeah. Some of the things that she said, I'm like, she doesn't seem that bad. And then she claims there's this Planned Parenthood video in which they've done the abortion and the baby's there with its arms and legs moving, and it's. She might as well have said that it was dancing a jig and smiling and. No!
It was
Idiots!
an Irish abortion. Okay.
First off, no such thing as there. Second off, this is not how it works. What the fuck, bitch?
Yeah, she pretty much said that they kill live babies.
Yeah.
Just,
Fully live,
like,
viable. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I don't know who you think you're fooling with that.
Well, apparently a lot of fucking conservative Republican douchebags.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that fucking disgusted me. And frankly, almost everything they said, I'm like, you guys are going on about Planned Parenthood. You don't know fuck all about it, do you? This is just a talking point.
Well, they still want to investigate the thoroughly debunked video.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the kicker about the whole thing is less than 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion.
I've heard.
Less than 3%.
Yeah.
And everything else is just about reproductive health. Let's oppose that. Yeah. And that 3%, that the bit of pertaining to abortions, is not funded by the government or subsidized by it.
Because that was, what, Bush? That took out that?
Yeah, that hardly had any effect on them anyway.
Yeah.
They've been damn near ran out of Texas and a few other states.
Women's health. Can't have it, I guess.
Well, no. The only women that should be allowed to have abortions are the daughters of the wealthy. This is the moral of the story, because they can afford to fly them to a place where they can get one.
Yeah, without coat hangers.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
Places where God can't see.
That's the big myth, though, about this stupid bullshit abortion debate. Making abortion illegal does not change the number of abortions in the end.
No.
All that it does is it makes them less safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For the ones who actually need to use those services.
The thing that it does increase, though, having it illegal, is the number of dumpster babies. That's about it.
Yeah.
Dumpster baby. No, I won't get into
Dumpster babies lying by the cabbage. You got it. Rotten cabbage on one side, dumpster baby on the other.
Cabbage Patch dolls.
Dumpster babies.
You know what a weird
Oh,
way-
I knew we had to go Muppet Babies from there. I had that momentary pause of, are we going to go to Muppet Babies? Yep. Yes,
Yep.
Well, you got it because they're coming back, and Kermit's got a new girl.
Oh,
Bitch.
Kermit has a new girl. WTF? Is she a frog?
No, she's big.
Oh, so he's still going interspecies, is he?
He is. He still likes getting that piggy swine off.
You know, the whole gay marriage thing, that's fine. The whole, sexuality being on a sliding scale or, on a spectrum, I'm okay with that. But when you start going interspecies, I kind of got a problem with that.
Mhm.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, David Cameron apparently stuck his dick in its mouth, so,
Yeah, that's such
Well-
a bizarre story.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I just don't know how well I feel about Kirk and all those green women and whatnot.
Well,
We are
if
talking
they're
Trek, right?
an alien race and they're sexy, I mean,
I'd do an Orion slave girl. I wouldn't care if she was
like, I would fuck any alien, just be the first dude who said he fucked a Martian or an alien, like, straight up, man. Opportunity presents itself.
Oh, you say
You
that
like
you say-
tentacle porn, don't you?
you say that just fine until you find out that their teeth actually grow in their vagina.
Oh. Dude, what grows where their teeth should be then? Is it like a nice smooth orifice?
There we go. That's what I was waiting
Because
for.
I'm down for rural. And I can
Ooh,
still
a
say
gummer.
I fucked an alien. At least I came.
In other words, you like the gummy.
Shit. Let's go, Grandma.
Well,
Pop
listen-
up those dentures.
Okay, let's please not have this discussion around a guy that has dentures. That just makes it weird. And gotten weirder.
Is you part of the homosexual agenda?
See Illuma nutty sack.
Ooh.
Yeah. this agenda, that agenda, the other agenda. The only people that I see having actual agendas are the people that are accusing everyone else of having them lately.
These people rule the world. Nah.
You know, there's no conservative agenda, but there's a liberal agenda, a gay agenda, atheist agenda. Yeah.
Doritos has an agenda.
Well, Doritos does have an agenda, but that's beside the point.
Oh, Doritos doesn't have an agenda. All the pot smokers have an agenda on eating Doritos.
They make them too delicious. And they're going to make them rainbow colored. And that's going to be amazing.
Shit.
I don't care about that.
Dude,
What I
am so
when
down
they
for
came
rainbow
out with like
Doritos.
Cool Ranch initially, they actually tasted fairly good. And then they decided
Yeah,
to
they
make them,
did.
what is it,
That's
the
awesome.
super flavor blasted, we're going to put 8 tons of the shit seasoning on them crap? The
All
fuck?
dressed.
That was horrible. It's like, okay, you took decent chips and turned them into this, like, weird coated shit.
That's progress for you, Sonny.
Yes, apparently Americans have no fucking taste buds.
Yankee.
Oh, Fabio would
boys
agree with
with
that.
tongue.
Yeah, actually, I'm sure Fabio would agree with that. Where is Fabio? Oh, yeah, asleep. Damn. I'll have to run one during normal time, or rather prime time again, just so I can get Fabio's ass in here.
I didn't watch any of it, but he and Simon and somebody else were doing the F1 race.
Yeah. I think it was the Singapore Grand Prix. I gave Formula One a shot this year for the first. I usually don't watch it because they don't come on until like 4 in the morning. But I don't know. It seemed really boring to me. It's always touted as like the most sophisticated and purest form of racing, and I don't see that at all. Like IndyCar or NASCAR, just about any American form of racing is far more entertaining than watching Formula One, I would say.
Well,
Formula
okay.
One, yeah, NASCAR. No.
Hang on though. The thing is, when you have cars that are always, they just drive around a track and circle and circle and circle. I don't even necessarily see there being much skill to that, other than having to somehow avoid debris occasionally. I don't get it. I mean, you take something like the Lombard, but you take something like the Lombard Rally or something along those lines. That shit impresses me.
The marathon. That sort of shit.
The rally races. You actually have different directions to turn. You actually have to have somebody fucking navigate through the course. There's a lot higher complexity. You're not just driving in a circle for hours.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the wacky races. Those were the shit.
Oh man, I remember those cartoons.
Yeah.
They're on YouTube.
The best race, though, has got to be the Cannonball Run.
That was anyway. That was
For its day.
I was thinking the second one actually. The second one was trash.
What about Fast and the Furious 3?
Third one was worse.
Some of the Fast and the Furious movies were all right.
The first one, as is true, almost any franchise was the best one. And then
That's why I got a number 2.
Yep.
yeah, and they just went downhill for a while. I haven't watched past probably 4 or 5, so.
Nah, nor have I. But I mean,
It seemed like it became less about racing and more about like crime thriller action.
well, I mean, the thing is, when you try to insert a plot, I'd rather watch, Triple X instead.
Mm-hmm.
You still have the car driving around like a lunatic stuff, but you had an actual plot as well. If I remember my movies right, that was one with a funky paint job that looked different colors and different lighting, right?
Triple X was the one with Vin Diesel as like
yeah.
a secret agent.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Yep. Of course, then they tried to make a sequel. The sequel was trash.
Yeah. I don't even remember the first one being that good.
Oh,
It was
I think it was
probably
better
10 years
than
ago.
Fast and the Furious.
I don't know if that's saying much.
No, it's not. It's really not. But I think.
I don't know. I saw the Fast and the Furious where like the whole movie was about them robbing a bank, and I was like, what has happened to the original notion of this being about like street racing?
Yeah.
What? That is such a bizarre tangent to take the series on.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Where is everyone? They're all in Nadia Hangouts. Haha, yeah. Well, this is the thing is, I need to get it. I'll be happy when I get my old channel back. I'm deciding whether I should just start running on the old 13 Heathens channel or not, because at least I have an audience there. Trying to build a fresh one here just to abort it and go back to the original channel is kind of a bullshit idea. Unless I just take this to be the, you know, like 24-hour content channel or some shit. I don't know what the fuck the eventual fate of this one's going to be or not. But the whole point of this account was just for the sake of being able to have the maximum 15 people hangouts. And to have better hangout security, frankly.
Yeah.
Ironic that it was one of these that I got nixed in. Because I was silly enough to give somebody a chance to come in that I didn't know.
And that's the sucky part of it. I mean,
Yeah, that reminds me.
If you have a quote-unquote quality hangout, and you give somebody a chance, they're dicks. But if you go to a place like Nadia, which isn't, you know, the best quality, nobody does anything.
Well, okay, no. Well, the thing is...
She's gotten porn bombed before. It's happened.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's what I was going to cut in with.
Yeah, whatever came of all those, like, Twitch people spamming your channel?
Oh, they haven't found this one. Either that or they just actually went back. More likely, they just had to go back to school.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
But
yeah, I remember that was like a weekly issue every time.
Oh gosh, I basically stopped doing hangouts for most of the summer because of this shit. Sucked.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And apparently I should have just, my instinct was, let's just wait till the kiddies go back to school. I'm like, no, fuck it, I want to do a goddamn hangout. Then I got porn bombed. I should have gone with my instinct and just fucking waited. 2 more weeks I would have been in the clear. Oh well. Hindsight and all that shit.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a part of me that's like, you know, the medicine man I learned under years and years ago told me I should follow my instincts. Why do I keep ignoring them? Oh yeah, because there's no rational reason to follow them most of the time. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's always that you learn of the value of instincts in hindsight.
Well, what I'm curious about.
And even then, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they're necessarily valuable, but you know, people always justify their second guesses when they're right. They never really seem to justify them when they're wrong.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
So you're
hits and misses.
Quote unquote. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying hits and misses. Go ahead.
Yeah, true, very true, and that's probably really the best way to put it. But no, I mean, your instincts can be if you listen to it with listening with doubt, with skepticism. I mean, it can probably tell you something that you're not cognitively taking in.
No, in this case, it was more so a matter of, I'm sitting there thinking, they're probably right, these are probably just a bunch of bored kids out for the summer that are being douchebags, so I should probably wait till the kids go back to school. But there's a point with me that I'm like, fuck you, I don't give a shit. Go ahead and try and fuck with me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of that goes back to, you know, back when I was dealing with Scientology and dealing with some of the Christians that have tried to start shit and this kind of stuff. But yeah, there is a wisdom to it sometimes, you know, and I acknowledge that that instinct was mostly paranoia, but in this case, apparently it was well placed. I was hoping that they'd fucked off by that point. But no. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, because I'm going to wait to see when I start doing stuff on that channel again, whether the shit's going to start back up or not. And if it does, I will simply start up my, 24-hour thing there and do pre-recordings on this channel, just keep tagging shit on the end, and giggle when they try to figure out a way to shut down the channel.
Yeah. Especially with...
Because... Well, they probably moved on, if anything.
Yeah, but I'm saying more like the little DDoS assholes, because what I found out is that if I'm streaming from XSplit directly and I'm not doing a hangout, they can't shut me down. They fucking tried. It takes a hell of a lot more for them to even try when I'm not doing this shit. But yeah, they tried for hours and were getting really pissed off that it wasn't working, which is, I think, why they did the porn bombing in part. Well, that and they're douchebags. But I mean, that's kind of the thing. Is it's like, haha, we have our chew toy. They could have tried to shut me down previously, but they didn't. And I really think it was like, haha, it's the end of the summer. Let's fuck them over. Well, we still have the chance. Or maybe I actually piss off somebody because I don't. This is the thing, is I don't have a target. You know, normally it'd be like, you know, if I was going against a certain kind of Christianity and they decide, and some people representing that tried to target me, I know exactly what I'd be going after right now. If it was a bunch of people that were supporters of spirit science or some shit, I know exactly what I'd be going after now. And the list goes on. But these people, who the fuck are they? What's their deal? I don't even know who my target should be, you know?
Unbridled chaos.
I don't fucking know. And of course, the people that were coming to troll me had no idea who the fuck I was either, because they were coming in and, you know, they're saying things like, there is no God. I'm like, what's your point? Okay, fine. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. What's your point?
I think
Allah is God. Well,
hear,
yeah, I don't give a shit. You know,
they hear old man, they automatically assume Christian.
Ugh, I don't fucking know. They're just sitting there, and that's the thing is like these people don't know who I am or what I represent. And what I kind of got a kicker out of it is there were some people in the beginning of the summer that's like, actually, this guy's kind of cool. Let's leave him alone. And I got a little bit of that too. So, you know, these people, undirected, it's just like somebody's like, ah, let's post a link and fuck with them. And the little sheep do.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't catch on to the fact that you weren't their stereotypical, like, old person with a computer.
Yeah.
And realize that you'd actually, you know, you're pretty tolerant of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was incredibly silly.
And that's the thing, is it's like, my philosophy is, if you're going to troll, just be good at it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, troll. If you're a creative troll, please come in the hangout. Please entertain me.
Well, being online in several different forums for so long, it's hard to see something new. It's all become a little boring, the trolling.
Well, incidentally, we thought it might have been the name of the hangout that was a problem, because we found out that now I was using Lurker's Lounge in homage to Babylon 5. What I didn't know is that apparently Warcraft or some shit like that also has a forum by that name. So that might have been part of what initially got some of the attention. But it continued after I was initially on somebody's radar. At least one of the dipshits that tried to pop into one of those early hangouts got all kinds of butt hurt and started trying to DDoS and stuff when I threw his ass out. And the funnier thing is, he's like, I will stop DDoSing you if you let me back in the hangout.
Yeah.
Which, first off, is like, I'm not going to go with terroristic threats, you little douchebag. But second off, you've been kicked out of the hangout. You can't come back in. At that point, it's beyond my hands, so even if I were to consider it, you couldn't get back in. Because Google wouldn't let you.
They don't seem to think things.
Does he not know what sock accounts are? Seriously.
I mean, that was it. At that point, there was nobody being allowed in that fucking hangout. And I'm still planning on doing my little pseudo sting, which is, you know, when I first start to do the live hangout thing again, I'm going to do some pre-recorded shit that I'm going to post up there with a link to a hangout that's completely unrelated. And I'm going to have a hangout that's completely, you know, that's not being aired, where all these little shitheads can come, and I'm going to see if I can record them in that hangout and see what the fuck they pull, and then I'll air it separately after doing some editing. It's like, come on, you want to come in here and be a little douchebag? Go for it. You're not going to be getting into the one that's being broadcast, so be as butthurt as you want. You'll be in a pre-recording. But this requires having 2 systems running. So yeah, I'm going to set a little snare for little fuckers. And I'm going to report every last one of them to Google.
Mm.
And of course, if they decide to air porn in the off-air hangout and report the live video claiming that there's porn in it, I'm going to write a very fucking nasty letter to Google and potentially threaten them with legal action.
False flagging.
Well, he can prove it.
Yeah.
Never went to air.
Yep.
Papers.
Because at that point never went to air. It was a totally different fucking hangout that the link was to, assholes. Fuck you. However, these are the list of the people involved. I'd like you to give me their information, and we'll be contacting a lawyer to have them contact you to get me said information. Because I'm going to request said information. I'm going to sue every last one of the little motherfuckers.
I wonder how many parents are going to get real nervous.
Oh fuck, we just dealt. Oh man, this fucking douchebag.
Once you got the parents involved, that's probably all you'd really need to do. They'd be. I mean, once they get wind of what's going on, they're not going to be happy about it either, and they're going to be willing to inflict far more damage than.
How old do you think these people are? Do you think they're under 18 or?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them are probably 40s and 50s. Even.
Based on the bar of the people that I did let into the hangouts that tried speaking, most of them seem to be minors.
Yeah, they were like 14 or 18 probably.
Yeah. Actually, they're not even 4chan trolls. One or two of them might have been, but most of them weren't even that. Apparently what happens is people post links to random hangouts on Twitch or whatever the fuck, and they were coming in that way.
I thought that's what it would have been, because it seemed like they all had a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of memes that go around on Twitch, and only Twitch it seems like, and I was seeing a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cultural identities.
Well, there were quite a number of them that when they'd come and would mention like PewDiePie or what have you, so I immediately turned my ire in that general direction. It's like, you're going to be referencing PewDiePie or whatever the fuck, I'm going to start insulting them next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sucks, because usually, like, a lot of people that stream on Twitch are pretty generous with a lot of that. Like, when they end their streams, they'll host somebody else. They'll send all their viewers to someone else just to give them a boost in viewership or whatnot. They don't say, go troll this person.
Yeah, man.
No, it's a raid.
Yeah. Pretty much what it was, And the trick
these are actually harmless.
And the trick is, what can you really do about it, is really the question.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I'm not going to let a bunch of kids into some fucking hangout to, but at the same point, most of the hangouts I run now, I make sure to take that 18+ box, but that doesn't keep out kids that are lying about their age.
I don't know that I've ever been honest with those when I was underage.
No, I'm sure none of them are.
I don't know who is. That's an incredible amount of personal integrity. They don't honestly fill out an internet.
Click yes if you're over 18. Click no to go to Yahoo. No one clicks no.
Yeah. Do you think that deters people on porn sites? Like, do not enter if you're under 18.
No. But at the same, but the one thing it does do is reduces the visibility of the hangout. If you click that little box and you're airing directly from the hangout, or what have you, it doesn't show on the currently live list on YouTube. Because things that are 18+ just don't show there, so the chances of them noticing that it even exists is less likely. That's about all you get.
Isn't that discrimination?
No, it's because they don't want the adult content being shown on the currently live alongside everything else. Which I think is respectable and reasonable enough.
Yeah, but adult could just mean, adults talking that may be using curse words.
I think people know what it. Well, okay.
Not
they don't let titties on fucking G+.
Well, it's just saying it's not acceptable for all audiences.
Yep.
I mean, really, that's all it is.
I'm sad I missed all this. I would have liked to mess with the little scooter balls.
Well,
that really just inflamed them more. The more people acknowledged them, the more they did it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is, Headless would go on his thing about talking to them about how to properly troll people, and I'm just like, I don't really give a shit. I really don't.
Yeah, here's the thing though. If I were to do that, I don't play nice. I don't think they would want to mess with me.
Well, I'd like to. There was at least one occasion that I'm like, I wish Nautic and Kevin were here. It was the occasion that some idiot was trying to dox me. That was funny.
Yeah, I remember that. That's funny. Not even close, dumbass.
Oh, I mean, the thing is, it's like, oh, I've got his number, and they post some phone number, and I'm like, 7 something or other. No, that's not my number, guys. Please don't call that number. They're like, that's what they all say. I'm like, no, really, guys, that isn't my number. I don't know whose it is, but please, just don't harass
A
us.
station in Washington State, I think, or
Yeah,
DC.
something like that. Yeah, it was just like, come on, guys, fuck off. And the guy's like, haha, I've got all of his docs, and he puts up some tiny URL thing, something like this, and I looked at it, and I brought it up just out of curiosity, and he even says there, address couldn't find. And I'm like, how is this supposedly doxing if you are admitting you couldn't even figure out an address? They had the state right, at least. Of course, when you think you have the phone number, you might want to check that against the state to see if it's actually if the prefix at least is a prefix for that state. You might want to consider checking that when you think you're doxing someone.
Kids these days aren't even smart enough to block their number when pranking a pizza place. I literally just dealt with this last week where some little fucking douchebag placed a bunch of orders for different stores in the area of about $2,000 worth of orders. Then the store managers had called the police and then called me for the information for the police, and they didn't block the fucking number, so the parents were on the line for the money.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
You should have raised your kids better.
Yep, should have taught them how to fucking prank a pizza place properly.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, these guys are like, oh, we're ordering your pizzas. I'm like, no, you're not. Especially because the thing is, they're like, haha, and his name's Timothy Matters. I'm like, you found my pen name. Good job. Congratulations.
That's ordering pizzas. Come on, that's how Troll Olin pranks Stephen Buck. That's easy shit. Get better.
Well, of course, my favorite was like, yes, and we know where you live. I'm like, do you now? They're like, yes, you live near a, what was it? You live near a Burger King. I'm like, shit, is there a Burger King in this city? And I recently found out there is one. There actually is one. It's not near my house, but there actually is one. I was amazed.
Illuminati.
You know, that's like saying there's a McDonald's somewhere near where you live. Okay, yeah.
Oh, there's a Walmart within 20 miles of you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So he was trying to claim to be a psychic. Okay, gotcha.
You know, I was like, yeah, right, whatever. But, you know, their pick-up Burger King was a poor one. In Texas, they would have been better off picking a Wendy's or something. Taco Bell.
Or Whataburger.
Yeah, Whataburger, even better.
I do know what that is.
Fucking Waterburger? What kind of name for a fucking burger place is fucking Waterburger?
No, it's not like Water Burger. It's like spelled like what a burger.
Whataburger.
But instead of what, it's wow.
Yeah. I've heard it sucks. I've never been there. They don't exist anywhere I've been.
It sucks.
It's okay. It depends on which one you go to. Some of them are kind of, but I mean, they're overpriced for what they are. But they have, you know, generic mediocre burgers like every other fucking place. They're fast food hamburgers, just generic fast food hamburgers. They're not horrible. I've had worse, but they're not good either per se. They're just fucking overpriced for what they are. For the money, you're getting ripped. Now, Sonic, on the other hand.
Yeah, Sonic good.
I like Sonic.
Yeah.
No.
Now, if they said there was a Sonic near my house, they might have been right. Depending on when it was, because that one's recently closed down, actually.
Sonic's got a huge selection.
Yeah.
Stuff compared to other fast food joints.
But yes, if they said there's a Sonic near your house, I would have been like, actually, that closed. There used to be a Sonic near my house. They moved. Which kind of sucks, actually.
I like their shapes, Sonics.
I like a lot of their drinks are pretty good, too. Ocean water and whatnot. They have weird fucking names, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd drink something called ocean water.
Well, I guess Prudence not out there because he'd be bitching and whining. Oh, wait, no, we're not talking about Denny's.
IHOP.
Oh, by the way, there's either a Denny's or IHOP near my house as well. You know, like every other fucking... Yeah, anyway.
There's a country kitchen buffet over there.
Yeah. You know, if the thing is, if you're going to do that, let's not try to do the cold read thing, you know. If you've actually figured out where somebody is, pick something that's actually less, you know, that's less generic.
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you were to say something like, "There's a TI there's a main TI office down the street from where you live," that'd be like, of course there isn't, but had there been one, then that'd be like, oh no, they're actually close. You know, it's something that's not just like, oh well, there's a McDonald's somewhere in your state.
Texas,
okay.
there's a red pickup truck down the block from you.
Yeah. Of course, the classiest I've heard was one of my subscribers comes in here. And this guy actually does know where I live, and he makes a comment of, "Yeah, nice little blue pickup with coexist bumper sticker," and everyone else in the hangout's like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, that's my wife's truck." But the thing is, this is the subscriber that when I was complaining about, you know, that there was a llama puppet on sale and I'd love to get it. He's like, "I'll buy it for you." I'm like, "Okay." Sure.
By the way.
And of course it was funny because it's like, okay, so you said they were full manus. I'm like, no. Amazon has one on sale specifically, which is why I was complaining I didn't have the money, because it's a really good sale. It was like half price kind of thing. And he's like, oh, okay. So, you know, he ended up sending me the puppet. So he obviously had my address. But when he made the reference to the little blue truck, I'm like, hee. That's kind of fun. More so because he was the only one that got the reference, and everyone else, Kevin included, was like, what? What are you talking about, huh? Everyone else being confused was the fun part. Because they were basically trolling the room in the process, and that was kind of fun.
By the way, remember, I think I mentioned that drug that went from like $1 to $720 overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's happened again earlier or last week. A TB drug price jumps 2,000%.
It's actually I think
Yeah,
more
it's
than that.
it's stuff like that is not new.
Some dickhead, greedy hedge fund manager started a pharmaceutical.
Yeah, but that's not this one.
bought
No, that's a different drug. That's a different drug. That's for
That was
when you
AIDS.
have no, well, not just AIDS, but toxoplasmosis, something like that. It's a parasitic thing, and it's dangerous to people with low or damaged immune systems.
Mm-hmm.
This one is for TB itself. So, yeah, bloody hell, what do they think they're doing?
Ripping people off. I mean, this is the thing is, the drugs that people get are based more on marketing than anything else, and you can, you know, charge however the fuck much you want, regardless.
Yeah, if there's nothing stopping them from doing it,
Yeah.
there's really no incentive for them to be ethical.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a sentence here. It's part of a trend in the pharmaceutical industry of small companies buying up old off-patent drugs and jacking up the price.
Yeah, and I think, well, with pharmaceuticals, how long do patents even last? They expire after...
Depends on the
about
drug.
10 years.
Yeah, it's not even that long.
Well,
So.
it's between 5 and 10 years. It can be 3 depending on the type of drug and the need of it.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a pharmacist. I used to know the numbers on this, all that specifically, but yeah, it's really based on the need worldwide for something like that, because they have to then get it, you know, available and out there if it's a bad thing, a really bad thing. Sorry, head's starting to go. Actually, I think I better head off.
Yep.
So good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Full shizzle.
Full shizzle.
Oh, I'm
Come
gonna.
on.
I'm gonna have to give Bohica a fucking hard time. Just noticed Bohica is one of the patrons of Nadia's thing. The rest of them I don't know, but Bohica I'm gonna have to give some shit to.
Yeah, I
serious
see him in there from time to time. He's one of the few people I recognize.
I'm just gonna have to give him some shit for fun. It's sport. Let's see now. I think it might be about time to take this sucker offline. We're about at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, it's going to be about bedtime.
Yeah, we're around about hitting 2 hours. I should probably cut it. Incidentally, although it was prior to airing, We did briefly have my editor in here, and I talked with her, and she's thinking she should be able to get back to work on the edit sometime in the relatively near future. So hopefully, knock on wood, the damn book will finally be out by the end of the fucking year.
Congratulations.
Hopefully. It's really dependent on getting the fucking editing done, so we will see when that fucking materializes, but it's well past being annoying now. Just since I feel like I probably should do it, I'm going to give a couple random updates. I'm probably, in a couple weeks, I may bring back First Draft Theater, but the viewer count on it had dropped to the point that it made me feel like I was doing a lot more work than I was, you know, it seemed like I was doing a lot of work for very few people, so I kind of suspended that for a little bit. But I'm planning on trying to bring it back at some point in the relatively near future. And I'm starting to get Gray Line topics lined up, so hopefully that'll come back on the regular channel in the near future. It's just a matter of getting all the topics set up and getting myself in the right headspace to actually do it, because the one thing that's really hard to do in terms of content is 2-minute videos are a lot fucking harder to do than you'd think. Trying to be that concise, not easy, especially when you're going unscripted.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, trying to be that fucking concise while still making a point is not easy. Power of Woo, I'm hoping I'll be able to get back to work on that at some point, but that's got to be on sabbatical for the time being. I'm not really set up to get going with that right now. I've got too much other stuff going on in the back burner. And on that note, I'm going to call it a day, and this one will be added into my archives later once I figure out what the actual proper number of the shuffle is. And let's cut this shit. Well,
it's number 3.
Oh, I put it at 201, but I don't think it's actually 201. I think it might be 203 or 204. I'll figure it out later. And for those that did watch or that will watch, have yourselves a great night, and we are